Hello, I am Alexandro J. De Los Reyes from Bulacan State University, and I am going to present some instructions in correcting basic sight vocabulary deficit. Let me first define what is sight vocabulary and what is sight vocabulary deficit. Sight vocabulary is the set of words that children recognize immediately by sight. These are the words that only take seconds for the learners to understand. From the word sight, once they see these words, they understand what those words means right away. An example of a sight word is the word after. Children without sight vocabulary deficiency are able to understand what after means if they see this in whatever they're reading or whatever they're watching. Now, sight vocabulary deficit. If deficit means small amount of something, children with sight vocabulary deficiency have a very limited amount of sight word that they can understand. And imagine that we have a bank of sight word in our brain. And these children with sight vocabulary deficiency don't have a lot of sight words inside that bank. And so it's hard for them to recognize or understand sight words right away or without any help. So why is it important that we correct this deficiency? It is to promote reading fluency and reading comprehension, helping students gain knowledge of words or vocabulary will help them understand whatever they're reading or whatever they're watching. It's also going to give them an opportunity to read more, knowing that they're able to comprehend more words. Now, let me present the instructions in correcting sight vocabulary deficit. The first would be word tracing. Have the students trace the word. This practice is very common for young learners who are just learning how to write, but also a great practice for children with this kind of deficiency, for them to be familiar with the structure or with how the word looks like. Repeat the words. Have the students repeat the words each time it is written. This is a very familiar and common technique that teachers do. Let's have an example. Let's have a whiteboard. And let's say we are teaching a sight word. And so let's have a sentence. There. Usually it goes like this. I'm having the students repeat the words. Okay, class, let us read what's on the screen. I wash my hands before eating. Can you say before? 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 That is right. I wash my hands before eating. So before is the sight word that we are teaching. Having them repeat these words, we are hoping for the learners to memorize. We are hoping for retention and memorization. And so for these words to remain and hopefully go in the bank of their sight words. The next would be write the words with no reference. Have the students write the word without looking at the flashcard and then compare the two. This is a very effective way to track the progress of children with this kind of deficiency. Having them write the words with no reference will tell you if they're getting better in remembering the words that we are trying to teach. The next would be study buddies. Match the learner with fellow students who have mastered the word. Pairing, grouping, matching. This is a very effective way for the learners to feel that they have a support system. Matching them with a fellow student who have mastered the word will encourage a tutor-like session, but with lesser anxiety, knowing that their tutor is their student or their classmate rather, someone that is at the same level as them. And so they are more relaxed and more confident that their fellow student is helping them out. The next is celebrate progress. Celebrating progress is very important for students to feel that they are successful and for them to feel affirmed. You may use charts, graphs, or even achievement corner to display their progress and motivate them to do more. Lastly, be creative. Integrate games and other fun activities to reinforce learning. Know your students and know what tickle their interest. It is important for the teachers to make the learning fun more than frustrating. And that is it for correcting basic sight vocabulary deficit. I hope you learned something.